Alright, good day everyone. Welcome to the part 10 of the Dart series, the Dart video tutorial from the scratch for beginners. Alright, in our last video, we spoke about comparison operator, and in this video, we are going to be moving to logical operator. Although in the last video, we touched a little bit of logical operator because of these these two checks, or operator. Then we are able to a little bit brush through logical operator, but in this video we'll be going deep in logical operator and the real this logical operation. Actually, this is not the operator, this is the operation. Then in this video we'll be going deep on the logical operator itself. All right, let's just close this and create another file. We call it logical underscore operators dot. All right, we have void, definitely we have main, and we have the curly brace. All right, we have logical operator in that. Okay, how do we do this? Okay, yes, logical operator is when you're trying to check if that thing is it or it is not. If that thing is it and it is not. Yes. Let's say, for example, in the real world experience, in the real world application, a user is successfully logged in, and yes, the user is successfully logged in your application. Definitely, you're going to store the token. Yeah, you're going to store the token in somewhere, or you're going to store a boolean. You're going to create a boolean, either it's token or a boolean. Yeah, let's just do it that way. We can do string, definitely call it token, and we can call it this. This is an example of a token, and we can check if the person is, if it is valid. Yeah, we can check it's valid. Actually, we can check it's valid. Yes, that's fantastic. All right, we can check if this token is valid, and to know if it's valid, we can just make this a nullable. We can make this a nullable operator. Okay, this is getting too much. We are going to do it one after the other. Let's comment these two out. Let's comment this out. This is a token and it is nullable. All right, this is a token. Now we want to check if this token is null or is not null. Am I making sense? No, I'm making sense. Yes. All right, let's print this. Let's check if this is actually nullable or not, and we can print it directly, or we can store it inside another check. That is what AI is actually trying to do for us. We can print it directly. We can just say print is token valid. Token is token valid. We can say is token valid. Right? Yes. And for it to be valid, we need to do interpolation, right? We can just do our interpolation $, and we do the bracket, and we check if token is not null. Where's my exclamation mark? Is not null, and if it is not empty. Yes, this is an operator. Token dot is not empty. All right, let's leave if the length. Let's leave the length. Let's just do 2. 2 is fine. Let's do 2. Okay, what are you complaining about? The operand cannot be null. It can be null. All right, I think there's a warning here, and we need to actually fix. This. Let me see what is. So the condition is always true. Okay, remove this condition. No, we are using it for learning. Just leave it that way. All right, we are checking if this is null, and if it is we are checking if this is not null, which means this token is still there, and we are checking if it's not empty. This is double check, because sometimes it should be empty, because we have in data design, null is different from empty. Yes, empty in sometimes don't use to equate into null, because empty can be an empty string. There will still be empty string, or it can be an empty array. That means something is still there. It's telling us it is an array, but it's not telling us that something is not there at all. Don't worry, when we get to advanced, we'll be getting to understand this deeper. But if you want me to explain more clearer in this video, just put in a video, just put it in the comments, then I'll be able to do a deeper explanation on that. All right, let's check this, and what we just need to do is to use that run bin and logical operators dot that. Let's check, is this valid? Wow, is token valid? And it tells us that it is valid. Why is it valid? Because it is not null and it is not empty. Let's now say, for example, now we remove this guy and we do null. We put null there. Can you see? We put null, and this is null safety. I don't know if we talk about null safety in our last video, but probably I will just brush through it in one of this video. This is null safety. When you know that your data might be null, are you getting it? Your data might be null, then you can put null safety. Null safety means you are not compulsoring it to be, it must a string. Whatever data type you declare here, once you put question mark, it means that you are not compulsoring that data type. Is either it is that data type or it is null. It is a nullable data. That is it. All right, that's what it means. And you can see that this one is no more there again, because now we assign null to this. That is it. And if you run this guy now, before it is true because the token is still there, but now should be false because the token is no more there. Can you see? Is token valid? False, because it's either it is null or it is empty. Are you getting it? Now let's remove this null and check if it is empty. If it is empty, or if the length is equals to, if the length is equals to 10, and this is saying something, empty cannot be unconditionally accessed because the receiver can be null. Yeah, definitely we can put this here, and we can say token equals null. Should be able to accept this, but it's not actually accepting because this can be null. We cannot check if it is empty on it, and we cannot check the length, and because of that we can put null safety. This should accept null safety from us. Okay, this accepts null safety, but this didn't accept null safety from us. And if that is the case, we can use null null. Fantastic. Yes, we can do it this way. Let's say, for example, when the user login, we get the token, we save it, but after like few hours the token get expired, or probably the user log out and the token is no more there, then that's why we said token equals to null. And now we want to check if the token is still valid. Either the token It's not either, it is a must, because this is AND operator. AND must be, the both side must be true before it can be true. If one of the side is false, then definitely it's going to be false. That is what the AND operator does. It's not like the OR, and we are going to definitely get to OR. All right, let's run this and see. It's checking if it is null, which is actually, it has turned to null here. And it's also checking the length, which is if the length is 6 is equal to 6. Definitely the length is 6, but because it is null already, it's definitely going to be false here, and it's going to be false here, and false is actually false. All right, let's run this and see if it is yes. You can see that is token valid is false, because it's actually, these two are true. It is these two, this one is not true, this is not null, because this has been set to null, and the length is this, which this has already turned to null. Definitely it cannot be able to get the length. Are you getting it? All right, let's move on. Let's check for OR operator. OR operator. Okay, how do we check for OR operator? Yes, let's just remove this null, and we can have a boolean. We can have a boolean is admin. We can have is admin. Yes, we might want to reroute the user that is trying to log in onto our system. We are just trying to simulate something. The user that is trying to log in onto our system might not be an admin, might just be normal user. You know, an admin has a more power, more privilege, more permissions than normal user. Now, when the data comes, probably you decrypt the token, and it gives you some data inside it, whereby we now have is admin false or is admin true, whatever data it is, but for now we are using false. We have is admin false. That means this particular user is not an admin. The token is valid, but this person is not an admin. Okay, let's check if the token is still valid. You can see that we've removed the null. Let's this, and it should give us true. Definitely the token is valid. Now we want to check if the user is admin or not. Now we can now say, we can do more complex thing here. Is admin. Yes, if is admin or the token is valid, we can remove this valid token. We can do another boolean here. Okay, it's already here. We can actually we can chain. One thing you should know, we can chain when we are doing logical operator. We can chain as much as possible check. We can chain it together. You can chain and or you can chain as much, so far you understand what you are doing. And when it gets to an extent, it will start asking you to do brackets, to bracket them, yeah, so that it will be able to understand better. That is it. But for now, let's just have something simple. We are going to remove this, and we are going to put is valid. We're going to put is valid. Let's have is valid. It's fine now. Let's have the validity. Yeah, validity come before. And why is this now still giving me some kind of warning? Okay, this is not the problem actually. It's giving some warning, though your code is going to run properly. It's just that I'm very much conscious about any kind of warnings in my code. The operator cannot be null, so yeah, it cannot be null. That is why it's asking us to some kind remove this, and we will need to make it to look like it can be null, so that we can be able to remove this warning. Can be null. It can be null actually. Try remove the code or fix it before it reaches. Okay. Then can we check for empty only? Let's check for empty only. And just like saying 1A. Alright. Okay. Let me still confirm all is good. Okay, all is good. Alright, now we're checking if it is empty, and it's not actually empty, and we're checking the length. If it is 6, definitely it is 6. It is not empty and it is 6, definitely it's going to be true, and this person is not an admin. Now we've checked validity. We've put it here instead of computing it inside print directly. We've put it here. Fantastic. Is the person an admin? That is the second thing we are checking here. Is the person an admin? This is then, I don't want this third one. It's generated by the AI. All right. Is the person an admin? That's what we are checking here, which is false. Then is the token? Can we not check if the token is valid and if it's still an admin? We can do the OR operator. That's what we actually want to check. Print is valid, is token valid, and is an admin. Okay. This is still giving me AND, but I can change it to OR myself. Yes, because I've actually done AND here. Let's test for OR. Is the token valid or is the person an admin? We are checking the two together. You are just using it as an example. Definitely, most of the time it can be AND. All right, let's clear this. Okay, let's remove this. Let's just clean up a little bit. Fantastic. All right, let's run our code. All right, is the token valid? It is valid. True. Is the person an admin? The person is not an admin. False. Then is the token valid or an admin? The token is valid, but the person is not an admin because we are using OR. Once one of the operation, once of the check is true, the result will be true. That is what OR is all about. And in most cases, this will be going with what we called if statement. Yes. In programming also, we also have what we call sequential selection and iteration. Don't worry, we're going to be dealing with that in some of our video in the future, and yeah, it's definitely going to be very soon. But what I'm trying to bring out here is that we have some things we'll be learning in the future. We have sequential, we have sequential, we have selection, and we have iteration. Yes, all the code that we've been writing is sequential. Everything just goes straight from top to down. Then when we get to an extent whereby we'll be writing selection, and most of the cases there we'll be doing comparison and logical operator. When we have selection is just like checking. We are checking, and the check will now be inside something like if statement, is if this is true, if this is false also. Then iteration is like when we want to print something in multiple time, or we are trying to check for something. We are checking things and we are conditionally checking it. Yes, that is when we have iteration. But when we get there, but what I just want you to understand that this code that we're writing is sequential. We are going to get to selection and iteration later on in the future. I think this video is already getting too long, and we've been able to complete what logical operator is. We can just end this video for now, and we move the rest of the knowledge to another video. Thank you so much for watching to this extent. I'm really grateful, and thanks for learning. If you have any question, you can put your comments. You can put your comment. You can put your question. You can put your question in the comment below. Definitely, it's going to be answered. and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family. Thank you.